What up, though? Welcome to the FreeGame Producer Podcast. My name is Brian Onrea. I'm sitting here at the luxurious Bandwidth Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. You feel me? And right across from me is the super producer, the multi-platinum producer, the 5-time Billboard #1 producer, Will Power in the building.
What it do? What up, homeboy? Lit.
Yo, man, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm good, man.
We ain't been on intro in a minute, you know what I'm saying?
Man, it's been a minute, but it's been good because the podcast is booming.
For sure,
you know
man.
What I'm saying?
For sure. We got some dope episodes, man. We
just
did.
Bro.
Oh, man, Corbett episode, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was super dope. Bear. Super dope.
Super dope.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? We had some real dope interviews. We got a dope one today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kei Henderson.
I love it.
Killed it. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Inspired.
Dope episode, man.
So what's been going on?
Not much, man. Just working, man. Shout out to Aloe and these headphones, though.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? They came through with some support, you know?
See these shits. These motherfuckers fine. They crispy,
these
bro.
These some of the crispy headphones, man. I done had.
Check it out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Ray Daniels for inspiring us to go and get
straight
somebody.
Up. Yeah, Ray came on the show, man, was like, bro, y'all got some trash headphones, bro. We was like, we on it.
Yeah.
These are fire, though, man. And this is like these aren't the mixed version. This is like a recording version.
Okay.
But they so crispy, bro. I feel like shit. Listen, I mixed my my mixtape on these jokes already, but I wasn't supposed to say that out loud.
Yeah, speaking of that, we do got something coming from Willpower, right? Some a dope project. So be on the lookout. We ain't gonna say much about it today, but be on the lookout for some Willpower music coming your way soon.
Yeah, we gonna.
You feel me?
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Willpower. Josh Waters got some coming. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, man.
You know.
It's been a good week, man. Like a lot of good things going on, man. I've been super focused on my intent.
Yeah.
I'm like manifesting some shit right now, bro.
Yeah.
Mentally manifesting some shit.
Well, yeah, that's where it all starts in the mind, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, man, yo, the award of music, BET just announced their BET Awards, man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people up in arms. You know, Lil Nas X was mad he wasn't nominated for nothing.
What?
But whatever. I wanted to go over some of these categories.
Yeah.
Best female R&B pop artist. Now, I got a problem with just R&B/pop.
Yeah.
Because it's not kind of the same, but they're kind of lumping it together. And that's already a problem right there. But I'm not here to complain. I'm just here to get the information.
Yeah.
Best female R&B pop artist, Ari Lennox, Chloe, Doja Cat, Her, Jasmine Sullivan, Mary J. Blige, Summer Walker. Best R&B pop artist. How you pronounce the dude from the West Coast? Blast? Blix?
Yeah, Blast.
Okay. Chris Brown, Jivion, Lucky Day, The Weeknd, Wizkid, Young Blue. Best group, Silk Sonic, Chloe and Haley, City Girls. To me, it just seemed like a lot of this stuff is just grouped in. If you black, we're going to best group.
Yeah.
Because it's like these groups aren't necessarily. They got Young Dolph and Key Glock as a group. It's just kind of like, why are they nominated with Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic? It's just kind of weird to me. Best collaboration. I can go on and on, man. It's just kind of best female hip hop artist, which is good now that they making distinctions in hip hop, right? Wow. Female artist: Cardi B, Doja, Lotto, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Sweetie. Best male hip hop artist: Drake, Future, J. Cole, Jack Harlow, Kanye West,
it's like,
Kendrick Lamar, Lil Baby.
I don't know. I'm sick of the award shows, bro.
Well, you know, we gotta cover it.
We gotta cover it, and that respectfully. So. You feel me? I ain't trying to hate on you. I'm just like, okay.
and you see, I'm being critical. I'm being critical in some aspects, but I'm also being supportive in certain aspects as well.
Yeah, I mean, I support. Everyone deserves. My opinion is everyone deserves accolades. Of course, you want people to be recognized for their work, but it's sort of just starting to feel like a rinse and repeat type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish they put more thought into some of this.
Yeah, it's too many media ways to like support artists and like give accolades. Like it's just like to just kind of force it all into like these institutions of Grammy-ish type of energy.
I just wish they put a little more thought into it. That's all.
Yeah.
But they got the Video Director of the Year, which is a cool award, I guess. Best New Artist, Baby King, Benny the Butcher, Lotto, Mooney Long, Tim's, Young Blue. Album of the Year, Silk Sonic albums, Heard, Back of Her Mind, Tyler, the Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost, Drake, Certified Lover Boy, Dying to Kanye West, Hotels from Jasmine Sullivan, and Planet Her, Doja Cat.
You're killing me.
They got a best gospel album. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on off camera. I'm just trying to do my job here. Best international act, Dave, Dinos from France. They got all kind of best movie. It's kind of all over the place. Best movie. Candyman should not be nominated for best movie. I'm just gonna come out and say that right now. Candyman was a disappointment. So let me just go hard and get some little hate.
Yo,
right there. I couldn't believe it. They got Space Jam as best movie. Space Jam: A New Legacy. All right, I'm just done with this right here. Space Jam, best movie.
No.
Yeah,
we need to be respected as a culture now.
Right.
What are they doing? Candyman? Nah, bro. No.
Candyman, bro.
I'm just gonna stop right here, man. But you can read. You can go to BET.com and read the Sportswoman of the Year. You know, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's just kind of all over the place. It's kind of like, as a culture, it's kind of like we got to do a little better. I don't know, but anyway, God bless all the nominees. Best wishes. I think it comes out in June.
Oh my God. I'm gonna have a great
Sunday,
time
June
26th.
Sunday, June 26th. BET Awards, man. Candyman,
and
Space Jam. Candyman and Space Jam. I ain't trying to give no slander, man. I love all the actors. I love the director. Jordan Peele was a producer on there, but nah, that wasn't it, man. But anyway, man, we got a dope interview.
Super dope interview, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's run that.
You know what I'm saying? Blessings to everybody, man. I ain't no hater, man. You know what? Hey, they doing better than me. What can I say, man? I ain't trying to hate on nobody, man. You know, have a good day. God bless. Good night.
Y'all make sure you
yeah. But for real though, make sure you
subscribe
to the Willpower YouTube, number one. Comment. You know what I'm saying? We getting thousands of y'all watching it. We need more of y'all to comment on the actual videos. If you listen to it on Apple, give a review on Apple. You know what I'm saying? Give a review. You know what I'm saying? Let us know how you feel about it. And it's always on Instagram, FreeGame Podcast. You know, let us know how you feel in the post. Yeah. We read those. You know what I'm saying? Give some feedback. You know what I'm saying? Just we know y'all rock with us, but just, you know, be vocal about it and take some action on it. You know what I'm saying? Because it help out the whole podcast. You feel me?
There it is.
FreeGame Podcast. Beam. What up, though? Welcome back to the Free Game Producer Podcast. We got a very, very special guest today.
Yeah.
We got an Atlanta heavyweight, a music industry heavyweight.
Come on.
In the building. I'm talking about a Grammy winning creative executive.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about an artist manager, A&R, CEO. We got Kei Henderson in the building. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. That was a great intro. I like that.
That boy is the king of them intros, right?
Yeah. Like it. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. You got a good story, too.
I got a good one.
Listen, so I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Me and Kei go back. We kind of came up in a group of people who kind of started around the same time in Atlanta, got out here in the streets, you know, got our feet wet, had some successes, had some failures, a lot of things like that. But I think one of the reasons I really wanted to talk to you is because you've kind of transcended into like the upper echelon of it. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? It's really dope to see a black girl go to the top. You know what I mean?
Thank
and
you,
do
yeah.
what you've done.
That's real.
And I just wanted to like pick your brain. You know, I think we got the kind of listeners who will be really interested in your story and what you did in your walk. And I just appreciate you coming. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into all the good stuff. So
I love it.
Thank you, man.
I
this
love
is
it.
super dope.
I appreciate the compliment you saying upper echelon or like the upper tier of it.
Yeah.
Because I still feel like I'm working towards that.
Well, that's just because you
You know what I'm
grounded.
saying?
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like your energy and you got a grounded spirit about you. But like, I'm not going to let that go. Like, I'm like, listen, man, like very few people have been able to get in the boardrooms and talk that talk and be able to get deals done and go international, you know, from right out of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And,
right.
you know, Atlanta's a great place. A lot of great people have been, you know, have come from here, man. But like, it's been dope to watch because I saw it when you were blogging and then you went from blogging to like stepping into corporate positions and like moving away and doing all those things. So I just want to talk about that, so you could tell people like what it is, because to watch it, to experience it, and to know you makes this extra dope for me. So,
right. That's real. That's really real.
I love origin stories, because people at home may identify with some of the things that you had to deal with, coming up, and they can be inspired by it. So growing up, you went to school necessarily with not in the hood, with other cultures, other people. How was growing up around other cultures influential to you?
Yeah, so I grew up in Gwinnett County, the North. Shout out Migos.
Yeah.
Gwinnett. I live in Gwinnett. That's not Gwinnett.
Oh, nice. So I grew up in like Lawrenceville, Swanee area. Went to Collins Hill High School.
Okay.
I was always like the only black girl on the soccer team. Sometimes the only black girl in the classroom. Sometimes the only black girl in like SGA and all these different extracurricular activities. My mom kept me really, really busy. But it was definitely a preparation for the real world. Because as we know, it's not segregated, because we're all intermingling now, and there's a lot of black executives, but there's a lot more of them than us in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it just prepared me on how to just relate with other people and other cultures. Obviously we had our mix of Latino and Asian and everything like that, but it was primarily white. And then even college, the same thing. I went to a primarily white institution, Elon University.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing,
Nice.
just prepared me for real life. And I never regretted it. Like I would go to Howard homecoming for like just like everybody else, just to kick it and intermingle, hang out in North Carolina A&T just to see my own people.
Yeah.
But it just prepared me for like what it was gonna be like in these environments, in these buildings. How they communicate, because it's very different from how we move and how we communicate.
Yeah.
And so having kind of like I had like kind of the inner source to like what that's like. Sure.
I always wondered, like, because you grew up around the time when Atlanta was really taking off for like Outkast and the Face and all that. So what was the point of view from like that part of Atlanta?
Oh, that's an interesting question. My first time like really falling in love with Outkast, I'll never forget the day. Greg Street ran Spodioti Dopalicious on the radio. He ran it back like 8 times. This is Greg Street, Greg Street.
Yeah.
This is clock time for the street to rock. This was the countdown, and I think the song had just dropped. And bro, I was like, what is this? Like, that shit changed my life, bro. I was like, oh nah, I got to do something in music, because I had always loved music and loved hip hop, and collected magazines, Right On and The Source, Double XL, Vibe. I was very into like music journalism at the time, which is what I majored in college.
Nice.
But I like just experiencing Atlanta from outside of Atlanta was interesting, because I wasn't a part of like, what was that? Battle of the Bands. I used to like, my mom would take me down there, and I'd be like, damn, these kids get to go to high school with these folks. Like,
right. That's crazy.
That's different. You know what I'm saying? And I had friends that lived on, South Side, the West Side, because my mom, she it was very important for her to continue to keep me exposed to my people and, those in different neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? But my experience of Atlanta is very, like, almost bird's eye view. Like, I watched it from the outside, almost like an outsider being from the suburbs.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Now in college, you mentioned music journalism.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't want that to slip by people at home. So you were already like pursuing. What made you want to pursue that? Did you know you wanted to be in the music industry going into college?
I didn't think I wanted to be in the music industry. I thought I wanted to be a writer. Like, my dream was to have a music magazine, like on some Flavor shit, Queen Latifah, Living Single. Like, I wanted my own magazine.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with writing. So I would just read, obsess about people like Diddy. And in hindsight, I didn't realize how much I actually studied people like Diddy. Like, I studied the shit out of that man. Like, to the point where I had 3-ring binders 3 inches thick of just clippings only on Diddy.
Wow.
Nice. And so I studied his career and like how he rose from like intern and then manager, and like kind of just, I was obsessed with bro, like low key. But I never in my mind thought I'm going to be in the music industry. I was just like, I want to be a writer. Like, I want to tell these stories. I want to be a part of, putting on people. Yeah. Like, it was always in my mind, I want to put people on type shit. But never from the aspect of a music industry.
But I still think it's really dope. I think I'm big with intention. I think intention is everything. And so for you to have binders of someone that you look up to, you started out as a writer. I remember my first interaction with you was during the Governed by Loyalty era with you. It was a blog, music blog, and to me, you were right there for the Atlanta. What was up in Atlanta?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you were doing more than that, but like my interest was like the fact that like you were the person who knew what was up in Atlanta.
Right.
So like with that, how did you figure out how to like insert yourself
into the culture?
Into the culture. Because I you know, I could back it up to like 09 maybe. I don't remember.
It was like 08, 09.
08, 09. Yep. I remember your blog, but I also remember you being a part of like showcases. Mm-hmm. You know, anything that was hot that was going on, it was you. Of course, it was Fadia and you know, a few other people who were doing it. But how did you insert yourself, you know, in that situation?
You know what's funny? I think it really kind of probably goes back to my best friend Kim. So Kim, I already graduated in 06, moved back to Atlanta from North Carolina. And we had a mutual friend that worked at the Source. I interned at the Source, and our mutual friend came in town for like 4th of July weekend. And Kim had just moved to Atlanta to go to Clark from New York. And so she was best friends with the person that I interned for. Anyway, long story short, we hit it off instantly and become like really close. And I kind of, at first, I think embedded myself in the Clark Atlanta culture or the AUC culture.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like just happened. I don't even know how it happened. Maybe because she was also working at Wish. So she was kind of the centerpiece in terms of like, you know, streetwear culture. And I was into streetwear heavy back then because that's like, you know, Huntress was popping, Stussy, Supreme, of course, 10 Deep, like all of these different brands were like lit at that time.
Yeah.
And so she was like kind of like my connector to the community. And, you know, of course she hung out on Peter Street. Peter Street was another one of our like hangout areas. So I got to know like people like Chilio, Coach K, and I don't know what it was. We just like me and Kim, we always like rolled together, and everybody just fucked with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, you know, when we formed our business and started doing like the blogging and events and stuff, it was just like we had this baked in community of like AUC kids and like black hipster people that aren't in school, but they kind of intermingle with the school.
Grip Plies. Come on.
So Grip was the first artist that I managed ever. Yeah. And he came up to me at one of our parties, one of the Governed by Loyalty Lavish Life Social Club parties. And he was just like, yo, these are the kind of people that need to be coming to my shows and buying my music. Will you manage me? I had never, ever thought about managing ever in life until that moment. Yeah. And was like, fuck it. That sound cool.
And for those that don't know, Grip was Atlanta.
Legend.
Period.
Yes.
Like he represented the cool of Atlanta. And all of us are like extensions of his influence. And we'll get into that later. But that means a lot. That explains it to me.
He helped insert me into the culture.
I think that's super fire because that's all the explanation I need at this point. Because I forgot about that. I knew you were doing business with him, but I forgot you were managing him. And that was a huge moment.
It was huge for me. Yeah.
That was huge.
That's how I met. Really, I think that's how I met you, J. Dot. Yep. Wolf, because him and Yellow Wolf were like this.
Super tight. Yep.
They were like brothers, and I just became a part of everything. And then Coach K was around because he had Holly Weird.
That's right.
And Coach K at one point managed Grip before Grip was a solo artist. Grip used to be in a group. I forget the white boy's name he was in a group with, but Coach K used to manage Grip.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because Coach used to just be on the east side on some, and you know, because Coach is also the other person that like straddles the line between mainstream and like underground.
Right.
So he's like the male older version of me, really. Yeah. But you know, once I got to know Grip, then I just knew kind of everybody that he had access to, which was, you know, like I said, the coaches, the Holly Weirds, Yellow Wolf, J. Dot. Yeah. So many people, Fadia.
So many people. Caleb. That's crazy.
Yeah, Caleb Gage. Just so many people that it's like if you made like a web, it would be the size of this table. Right. Just how connected and interconnected we all were. It was crazy.
That's fine.
Now, for the people at home that want to get into management, I'm curious about that time period. well, that's kind of leading to my next question because I want to know. Of course, you were throwing parties at that time, but how were you like earning a living? Like, how was your living situation back then? Because people at home think they just want to jump in the game, be a manager. But from what I understand, it was a struggle for you.
Listen,
while you were managing art, while you were touring, you were moving around the country, struggling.
I was making shit.
Let's talk about that. How are you surviving back then?
You know, so first out of college, I started working at Enterprise renting a car. Got fired from that job. was just kind of like, you know, doing little shit that I shouldn't have been doing to make money.
Yeah.
In between, especially with a college degree.
Yeah.
And then I got a job at Career Builder, got fired from that. And I was like, I ain't doing no more jobs because this is just not for me. And so, you know, I would take on these internships. It's crazy when I think of how many like unpaid things I did in this industry. I would just take on these internships just to get me some experience in hopes that it would lead to something to make some money. So I would intern at Mind's Eye Studio, which, you know, he printed all the flyers and he had a recording studio. And at the time I had Grip, I had Mums FP, and I had Saya as a part of my like management crew or whatever. And so I got free studio time out of that. Yeah. Right. Still not paying for anything. I'm not making a living, but like, you know, all right, we got studio time. That's covered. Bet. Yeah. And so, you know, we always just, you know, we kind of functioned as a family. We made sure each other ate. We made sure everybody had a place to stay. We just kind of was moving. Like I wasn't making no money for real. Not legally until I left Atlanta. Yeah. I had to get into a car accident to like get some bread. Right. Get the fuck up out of here. Right. Because I had just reached the ceiling. Like I had just did everything that I think I could do at that time in Atlanta. Yeah.
That's with the complex, right?
Yeah, I went to complex 2010. I got into a car accident. They gave me like $4,000. I tell this story I think pretty often. I don't know if my mom's heard it, but got into a car accident. They gave me 4 bands. I gave my mom 2 and I kept 2. And then I hit up the lady that hired me as an intern and was like, hey, I'm looking for anything in entry level. It doesn't matter which department. I'm just looking for an opportunity. Here's my updated resume. Yeah. Thankfully I had Mind's Eye on there. I had Big Cat Records.
Big Cat Records, man. Yeah. Come on.
I used to pass out CDs, flyers, and posters for Big Cat Records, and then Markstar Multimedia, because that was another flyer printer company. They were like the big
killing
one.
It, yeah,
killing.
Yeah,
they hired me, so I had them on my resume. So I had all these internships. So they're probably thinking they're jobs, right? Yeah. But I wasn't making shit. Matter of fact, Markstar started paying me at some point. That was my first like paid kind of industry related job. Yeah. Shout out to Justin Huff. He's in New York now, but I had all this free, you know, experience on my resume now, and I sent it to her, and she's like, "Oh, this is perfect. We have a position as an assistant."
That's free game, though. It paid off, right?
Yeah, no, it paid off. It took a while, but it paid off.
That's dope.
I got evicted from 2 apartments. I didn't even tell that part of it, but I was like, I was down bad.
I want people to hear this though, to know that it's not no cakewalk. You know?
Oh hell no.
Yeah, well, now everybody like, you know, even, you know, we on a recording studio here, so I am always talking to interns or people who are applying for internships. Mm-hmm. And it's insane how much they don't want to do
shit.
Nothing. They're like, fuck that, bro.
They want to get paid.
They want to get paid now and don't want, you know, most of them can't even offer anything to the situation. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's the part that has been getting lost. You know, the work part of it is not there anymore. It's so easy. Everybody's got so much access to so many things. Right. That like how do you tell a kid who he's walking in here with 10 bands in his pocket? Yeah. You know that you gotta, you know, you gotta crawl before you walk. You know what I mean? But
I think a lot of the issue is there's not enough of us talking about the mistakes or like the pitfalls or just like the journey. Like there's not enough of us telling that story. You know, I have 2 mentors in the business. You know, who I was able to reach out to when I lost my biggest client, and they just gave me the real, like, oh yeah, I've been there, had to borrow money, almost went bankrupt, this, then the third. But these aren't things that they would ever say publicly, or like at a podcast or no shit like that, because it's just like, why, really? But these kids need to hear that, like, no, at one point, shit was crazy and scary. I had a scary moment like a month ago. Yeah, I was just like, man, I didn't think I'd be back at this spot type shit. You know what I'm saying? But there's not enough people talking about that. And that's why these kids think that, you know, it's a cakewalk. You getting on PJs and that's what management is. You get to be in the studio and shit. Like the money don't get made hanging out with the artists.
That's right.
Be working 24 hours a day sometimes. Just
that's right. Trying
calls,
to find
emails,
situations. Yeah.
Figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But people don't see that and people not talking about it.
Would you mind telling us what management is? Like I know that's a loaded you know what, that works for me too, and I know it's a loaded question, but I would like to get it because, you know, that's something I've never really heard somebody say is like, you know, I'm not with the artist, I gotta be here doing something else. And so Talk to us kind of like what that is.
There's different kinds of managers. I will preface by saying that because there are day-to-day managers that spend a lot of the time with the artist to make sure that the artist is, getting to where they need to be. But there's somebody that's setting up to getting to where they need to be. The plays or the meetings or the brands, the studio time, whatever. But management, in my opinion, is like, so there's the artist, right? And then there's the manager. And let's think of it like a wheel, right? Mm-hmm. At the center, you have something that has to hold all the pieces together. Yeah. Right. So in the center, I think of it as the manager, and all the spokes are all the different team members that's a part of your team. That's your agency, that's your publicity, that's your label or distributor. Yeah. That's all these people that you have to interface with on a daily, sometimes basis. Yeah. Or a couple days a week basis. Like these are people I talk to all the time consistently. Yeah. And the tire is the artist. Right? They making the shit actually go because they're creating the product. Yeah. They are, unfortunately, these days, they are the product because, they can be, 8 and 9 figure brands, have their own clothing brands, their own beverages, like a Travis Scott or a Post Malone. Yeah. That's a brand. Like you're a brand at that point. But the manager's in the center, making sure that everybody doing their damn job. Yeah. And when somebody don't do their job, I got to be on them, or I got to do the job until we even have the money to have the person to fill that role. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, management for me, in my opinion, is like you're literally doing everything until you don't have to. Unfortunately, that's been the case. Yeah. When you get to like my level, when you've like got some accolades and things like that, you can kind of, bring people on your team to handle certain things, so you don't have to touch every piece of the business. But initially, you're touching all of it. Right. Making sure the website's set up, merch is getting done, all the little stuff. So, but management is not spending money.
It's right.
Managers do not spend money.
Not spending money. Come on,
but I spend money because I have money, right? Yeah. So I'm a partner now with most of my artists. Like my business arrangements are different than they used to be, just because of what I've learned in the business. Once I've seen that I was doing everything, I was like, oh, that's not a manager. That's like a business partner.
Yeah. Well, and so the expendable side of it, like being the person who is like, running the wheel per se. Is it like, did the partnership aspect of it come from the part that you found could be expendable? Like a person could just decide that this ain't
1,000%.
This just ain't that.
Yeah.
And so,
because you're not gonna build a water company, you and him together, build it up from nothing to Essentia or Smart Water and just walk away.
That's right.
With zero. Right. That's crazy as hell.
That's right.
We did all the work together. So
right.
We gotta walk away with something, and the only way to do that typically
is partnership.
Is a partnership. Yeah. Yeah, because labels don't walk away with zero.
That's right.
It seems like a lot of artists resist that.
1,000%. Because they don't understand it.
That's right. Yeah.
They're like, what? You want to be a partner?
Yeah, I think the hardest part for management for me, and this is from some experience, but mostly from just watching, because I don't like that seat. You know what I mean? But it's definitely like you spend more time trying to educate people as to what this is. Because, like, you can't just tell somebody, hey, we got a partner on this. Like you said, in the beginning, it's like they're not ever going to understand what that means. They can't see down the line. Right. Most of them are just very talented, and we know what that talent is going to turn into, but they might not even know. Right. And so the management job is mostly just like, it's almost an educational job through the whole time. Because I know in my own situation, I have to have continuous meetings, continuous sit downs, just to reiterate what it is we're doing and what the end goal is, and yada yada. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And don't get me wrong too, not every artist is even necessarily partnerable, right? Because some artists is just like, okay, we just gonna do the management thing, run it up, and get the bag and get the hell on. Yeah. But then there's artists like I typically prefer to work with artists who I feel like are gonna be around to outlive me, right? Yeah. The artists that are on my roster currently for management are all artists that is like, when I'm 60, 70 years old. Brands. Residencies, like, major international tours on some like Lenny Kravitz, Aerosmith. Like, these are bands that have been booked their entire lives. Yeah. Nice. That's my current roster. And Savage was one of those artists too. Savage is an artist that I think is going to be around forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you've done some incredible things with 21 Savage. Like, how did you meet him, and how did that build into what it became?
I met him actually through Kei, Fat Man Kei, who was a part of 2-9. They went to high school together very briefly. And then I guess they ran into each other either at the mall or out shopping or something, and Savage approached him, or I don't know who approached who, but essentially Savage was like, I'm making music now. And at the time, Kei was having like a really good run. Like, you know, Drake was reaching out. You know, he was on tour with McConan, getting a lot of looks. Like, it was a very high moment for Kei. And so I guess, you know, Savage knew that he was making music and was like, I got this song I made, whatever. It's called Picky. And Kei hit me that same day, like, yo, I got this artist I want to sign. He's so fire. He a real street nigga. Like, he, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm like, all right, man, because Kei talk crazy. So I was just like, all right, bro, whatever. And yeah, we took him on a tour that I had set up. It was like maybe 10 or 15 days. I can't really recall. It was like the South, Virginia, and then the Midwest, Cleveland, Chicago, Columbus. Took him on a tour, and he performed that one song, the song Picky.
Yeah.
Fans was going, like, you would have thought crazy. Jesus was on stage.
That's
like,
what I'm talking
they
about.
They was like, what the fuck? And I had never seen anything like that, like a response in that way to somebody who was so new. It was just like, oh, this is special.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew then. But he didn't have any music at that time. So after that, he recorded some music, came back, and we just started working.
Nice.
Yeah.
We had an incredible run.
Super dope. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was sad to see the split. You know, I don't know the terms of the split and not really interested in it. I just think that when I see something this great happen, when I see several people do something this big, it's just painful, you know, to watch it not continue.
Be that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, for me, it's like that's the part of being in management that scares me. It like it frightens the shit out of me, because I'm like, you know, that normally in music, the manager has the shakiest position. It's like that's the one.
We're the easiest person to fire.
The easiest person to fire, you know. And a lot of times, you know, the manager is the person that's the target as well. So like if, you know, you go out and you get something popping, man, well now everybody that sees it popping that wants in on it is going to, they want that position because it's the closest to the artist. It's the closest to the talent. So
you know what's funny is I never actually, you know, I think because I had paid my dues so much and busted my ass so much for so many years.
Yeah,
I never had people that knew me trying to poach my artists.
Yeah,
because at that point it was a respect thing. Like, oh, okay,
yeah,
you finally made it.
Yeah,
good for you type shit.
Yeah,
only happened with like LA type niggas or you know, big company type shit, like
out of pocket.
Yeah, but it was never like peers,
right?
Shit like that, which feels good.
You've grown. Like you're the it girl to me. You know what I mean? And it's happening because I love it, because I noticed that like you go from management and then you go into label spaces. Like, so you were a part of a label.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Since the 80s,
you built that up. You're now doing your Third and Hayden.
Grandma Block.
I love this. I'm just like, it doesn't stop with you. It's like, you know, there's so much pivot in what you do, and all I can see in these situations is they're all like spaces that you grab one more piece that you take and you build another piece with.
Yeah.
Is that like has that become strategy for you at this point, or is it just like you just like?
It's kind of had to.
Yeah.
But it's also inherent. Like I come from a line of just strong women, and you know I'm just not designed to stay down for very long. I like to I learned from doing. And fucking up and making mistakes, and like I was the kid that had to touch the fire to see, oh, that's hot.
Yeah.
Like that's just who I am.
Yeah.
And so all of my experiences and what I've learned, even with working with Savage and working with even prior to Savage, like everything that I've learned and gained, you know, prepared me for that next one, and then prepared me for the next one, and then this is like my final. I like to say final because this is near and dear to my heart, because it's like it's my legacy, it's my family roots. My grandmother still lives at 3rd and Hayden in East Cleveland. So it means a little bit more to me now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this, and can't nobody take this from me.
That's fine.
And I'm gonna do what I gotta do. We're gonna do you know.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have had some really good conversations about, you know, being a woman in this industry, and like how much of a boys club it is, and certain things that you know, it just kind of is what it is. I don't want to say it felt like you were a little discouraged when we talked, but you definitely felt some kind of way about it. And so how is that fueling you right now? Like, what is that doing for you, and how you intend on positioning yourself with your new venture and the things that you're doing?
Yeah, you know, as a woman, and I get asked this question often, right? Because I obviously I'm a triple minority, right? Black, gay woman, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, people ask me about different adversity and things like that, and I usually never have an answer. But what I understand, I'm coming to understand now, is not really adversity. It's really just like, and no offense to anybody, but dealing with the male ego is a lot.
Yeah,
it's very taxing. It's very exhausting.
I love it, man.
People like, yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's no offense, but I mean, I also have an ego, but my ego is set up different, especially at this age of my, this stage of my life and my age. My wisdom is set up a little different, so it's just like I just have to take a step back sometimes and understand that things are not personal, and that's been a really hard job for me.
Yeah,
my entire career is understanding that things are not personal. Either this person is undereducated, or is unaware, or you know what I'm saying. There's always reasons for why people are coming at you with a certain way. Because I be feeling like, yo, motherfuckers be trying me.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
And I know they don't try my peers, because I talk to my peers who are OGs and people that are like on my level, or even higher than my level, and they're going into these buildings or situations or these conversations, and they're coming out with a different outcome, and then I have to like fight and pull teeth just to get the bare fucking minimum.
Yeah.
And it's like, as a woman, it's like I'm just used to dealing with it at this point.
Yeah.
To where it's like I don't let it keep me down.
Yes.
There are moments where I'm just like, shit, I had a moment 2-3 weeks ago where I was just crying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sick of dealing with niggas trying the shit out of me. Like, there's no way that another Grammy winning executive is being talked to like this type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it be from the artists or companies. Like, everybody just seems to like try me. It's like, do I got a try me sign on my face?
Yeah.
Because if I start being a bitch, then I'm a bitch.
Right. It turns into a whole nother
a whole nother conversation. And people don't ever really get to see that side, because I'm really a nice person.
Yeah.
I'm a very kind person, very understanding. But when I'm angry, it's not pretty. Like, it don't look good. It's not going to make you feel good either.
Right.
So it's just like, I've just had to like just be used to taking punches.
So in learning how to deal with it, like what does it do for you from the fighter side? Because like I'm watching you go from, ventures into bigger ventures into bigger ventures. So your goal setting is getting greater every time.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't look any weaker to me. You know what I mean? It's like, hey man, like, hey bro, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if you see the first instance and you go, oh shit, that looks not good. Mm-hmm. And then you see a person come back. We just had this conversation with Bear. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how, Diddy, when Diddy first lost his job,
mm-hmm.
And had to fight his way back, and that's when he went and got Biggie and Craig Mack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, that sets the tone. And most people counted him out. But what he did was he came to Atlanta and he got with like Dallas Austin, and he started figuring out how to, like you said, he had to call in favors and, let people know, man, I'm out for the moment, but I'm not out. You know what I'm saying? How can we? So
that's funny you said that, because I just remembered all of that about Diddy.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I connect so closely with that.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm on it. I'm feeling like there's a real parallel here. That's like, is parallel the word? That's the word. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wasn't good in geometry, man. All that shit, bro. That's
the stuff we don't use today.
Yeah, but I really can see that. That's why I said it earlier about intention and just like manifestation and stuff like that. I feel like you low key like set this up way before you even got started, to the point where like embrace that, continue to embrace it. Like when it's looking crazy, like keep going back to the beginning and saying, I drew this up for myself
years ago.
So it don't matter how people are looking at it or treating me about it, because, you do have fans. You have people like myself who see it and go, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's another. It's chess. This ain't checkers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think I've been, letting the, I've been using the fuel to just get me to that next step.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it does get hard, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, I'm a very strong believer in everything that happens is supposed to happen. Everything that's for you is for you no matter what. There's not a single person, man, woman, or child that can stop what's for me.
That's right.
And sometimes I forget that, right? It's easy to forget that.
Yeah.
Especially in the moments of like discouragement or a bunch of no's, because rejection is never easy. I don't care what nobody says. You can be the most successful person in the world, but hearing a no sometimes can be like very defeating.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm just not allowing it to set me down or push me back, because I'm on a mission.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. So I want to talk to you about your A&R and your ears and your ability to find dope shit.
Yeah.
All the way back to the blog days, like you covered dope shit. You ended up with a dope artist, several. Now we're into what I would consider another era of music, because music has changed a lot since, 08, 09. But you still got your finger on the pulse. Like you we stepped and listened to music before we jumped on today, and I'm just like,
dope music.
Where the fuck did you find this shit? Like I'm going, bro. I produce, so I'm looking for shit to produce, and I can't seem to find those kinds of things. Like I get lucky, and I got some things that I'm doing I think is dope, but you got some shit that I was like, never heard that before.
Yeah.
Didn't know that existed. Who is that?
Right.
So how are you staying in tune, because the game is changing, the music is changing so much?
You know what? I'll be honest. A lot of things come to me through like God almost. Like things just be sent to me. And then I hear it and then I'm like, no, that's dope type thing. And I also keep a lot of young people around me. Shout out Amir, Tyra, Guate, Anwar, Lotus Rosary, Sherwin, Maine, CEO Kyle.
Yeah.
Like all of these young people are either working with dope artists or are connected with dope artists. And I guess no matter how big I got, I remained accessible to people, to young people especially. Because I didn't have that coming up. Like, I had my OGs, but there wasn't a lot of people I could just get to and be like, yo, check this out. Let's, can we sign it or whatever,
That's right.
But I've been that person for a lot of young people in Atlanta. And I pride myself on that, because I think it's been helping me find some of the most amazing artists in the city. Ben Riley, I think is he's going to be a really big artist.
Yeah.
If I have anything to do with it, of course.
Absolutely.
And Amir brought me that, when I was finally in the space of wanting to work in rap. But it's not even that my A&R ear or ability is that crazy. It's just I'm outside in a way that most people are not trying to be outside, because they don't want to be bothered, or they feel like these young niggas is getting on their nerves. But these young niggas ain't getting on my nerves. They're bringing me some really dope talent. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or even just friends. Like, I have an artist, her name is Anastasia, one of the most amazing voices of this generation. Like, Sade would hear her and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Type shit. And I would never say nothing that big and bold, but like a friend of mine posted her, and this is a friend whose taste I love her. I love and admire her taste. She posted her, and I was like, yo, who is this?
Yeah.
I don't care what I got to do. I want to be involved. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, just staying tapped in. My relationships are really, really long, far.
Yeah.
But it starts with young people for sure.
That's dope.
Because I can't be everywhere no more.
That's free game.
Yeah. So what's next? Because we know the label. Is it a label or is it just
label management and publishing?
That's fire.
Yeah.
So what's next with that? Like, what can we expect, and like, where can we?
Man, this next few years is about to be insane. Like, you're gonna hear the name Third and Hayden quite often. Like the way that you hear QC and LVRN. Much respect to my brothers. Even since the 80s, like everyone's accomplishing so much. But I want to be in those sentences also with like the Motowns, the LaFace. Just for like the quality of talent that we're engaging with.
Yep.
And yeah, we got label partnerships. Ben Riley's got a new project coming out soon. Aziana has some amazing music coming out soon. She's hopefully going on tour. Everybody's just working.
That's dope.
Kenneth Whalum, he comes from a family of jazz musicians. One of the most talented people I've ever met. He came to me through God as well. Yeah. Some like listening to a playlist, cleaning my house, and I'm like, who who is this?
Right.
Shout out to God though.
Nah, straight up, God is my A&R.
Come on, man.
I don't know what these other niggas be on. I listen to God. I listen to this. This is really important.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot.
Super dope.
So it's multiple strings. I was looking on your IG. There's like a link to like some furniture stuff. It's multiple streams. Because this is a good game for people at home. It's multiple streams of income, multiple pots cooking. I like to call it. Yeah. Is that important for like a manager?
Absolutely. I mean, shit. When I had all my eggs in one basket, that basket broke.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a scary place to be in.
Come on.
So as a manager, I mean, just having a diversity of what you're working on, even if it's outside of music, I think is important. And my furniture stuff, that's really just a passion project that keeps me from not spazzing on niggas all the time.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have something to like level me out,
to do.
I would be called a bitch every day.
Hey.
That was kind of a question I wanted to ask earlier, because we used to talk about mental health a lot. We don't, not as much anymore, but mental health has been a big thing on this podcast. Like, how do you like navigate? Because you're talking about having moments where you were kind of down and taking punches. That's kind of life in general, but especially in music. How do you, is having like passion projects important to you? How do you cope mentally?
1000%. Passion projects are important. I go to therapy every week, $200 a week, even when I don't have no money. Like that, where it's like, oh, I got to spend this on this video or this, that, and the third. It's like I prioritize therapy.
Yeah, come on.
It's free game. Because
it's just so important to talk to somebody. Because I have a hard time stepping outside of myself sometimes, so I have to talk to a voice of reason.
Yeah.
And honestly, the quarantine, God gave me the quarantine to get myself together. Like I needed some extra time after a really tough 2019, and I took that time to kind of just be with myself. You know what I mean? And just tap in. So yeah, it's really, self-care is really important.
Absolutely.
Like you will spontaneously combust, or you know, have dark thoughts and actually go through with those thoughts. And you know, that's the thing that, you know, Shanti Das talks about a lot on Silence the Shame. It's just really important just to talk to one another and talk to your peers, because sometimes, you know, people will be hitting you up and you'll be so depressed that you don't even want to answer back.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I'll tell people, like, hey, if you're going through something that's all good, just take your time.
Yeah.
You know, because you can go ghost on people on accident.
Yeah.
Because you've been in that depressed anxiety mode. But I want people to know it's okay to be like, yo, I ain't gonna hold you. The last few weeks has really been fucking with me.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your patience, blah, blah, blah. Let's get back into it.
Yeah.
But you gotta take that time, because, you know, you only got one life.
That's so important, because a lot of times we even get mad. We dealing with people and we don't get the reaction or responses we want. But sometimes we don't think about, okay, well, what are they going through?
People be going through shit. Yeah, especially in this industry, man, because you're just expected to always be on, either by the artist or by your job. You're just expected to everything just fine, everything cool, because you got money.
Yeah.
The money ain't even real.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Facts.
I don't even mean shit.
Facts, man.
Well, I'm a big fan of yours, though.
Yeah.
I really am. Especially after researching and talking to you, because I think your story is important, and that mental health piece, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Super important.
Yeah. Once we got the show back up and running, like, you definitely somebody like I was not gonna let up until it went down. So I just really thank you for your time. Thank you. I've been witnessing, you know, your grind and watching you work, and it's for real. It's not. This ain't no cap shit. You feel me? So. And I just appreciate it. And we want to bring you back as many times as you'll come back, you know, but I wanted to just have this moment with you, because I know in a minute we ain't going to be able to get you on the phone.
Nah, man.
It's all love. Nah. But thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's been a real dope interview. You got a really good story, great story. It's inspired me. You know, I know it's inspiring a lot of people who are watching at home. So yeah, we thank you sincerely for coming by.
Sure. Can you drop like your
Instagram,
social media handles, anywhere,
anything you want to shout out? Shout it out.
Shout out my team. Shout out my mother. Shout out Third and Hayden, my father, my grandmother. If you want to get in contact with me, email amir@thirdandhayden.com.
Amir about to get flooded.
AMIR@thirdandhayden.com if you want to send music. If you want to get in touch with me on some like intern type of thing, let's work at thirdandhayden.com, and then all my socials are Kei Opens Doors. KEI Opens Doors.
Yeah. And for those who need some like quality information and entertainment. Please follow her Twitter. It's hilarious. She goes,
yo, I done lost jobs over my Twitter.
Hey, I love it, man. So thank you. Let's do this again. You know what I'm saying? Free game.
Free game.
There it is.
Appreciate you.